If you've been following immigration news closely, the last few months may have felt exhausting. Every week seems to bring another warning, another delay, or another reason to worry about green cards, visas, or processing timelines. Many of you have written in saying it feels like immigration news is always bad news. And honestly, that feeling makes sense after everything families and workers have been through. That's why today's update matters, because as January 2026 moves forward, there are actually some positive developments happening quietly inside the immigration system. Not big promises, not dramatic announcements, but real movement that many immigrants have been waiting a long time to see. In this video, we're going to talk about the good news emerging in U.S. immigration right now, including encouraging signs for green card processing, visa approvals, USCIS operations, and what these updates realistically mean for you and your family. If you're liking this video, please hit the bell button, subscribe, and like it so that you may get updates straight to your smartphone. Now, let's get into the video. Let's start with the most encouraging area: green card processing. As January 2026 begins, USCIS is showing signs of steadier workflow in several green card categories, while processing is not suddenly fast across the board. Many applicants are reporting more consistent case updates, fewer unexplained pauses, and smoother transitions between steps. For family-based green cards in particular, approvals are continuing at a stable pace, and some applicants are seeing their cases move sooner than expected after long periods of silence. This matters because over the last few years, unpredictability has been one of the biggest challenges. In January 2026, the system feels less frozen and more structured in how cases are handled. When a case is delayed, it is more often because of a clear reason, review, interview scheduling, or visa availability rather than unexplained inactivity. Marriage-based green card applicants are also seeing more clarity. While scrutiny remains high, interviews are moving, decisions are being issued, and genuine cases continue to be approved. For couples who have waited months or even years, these approvals are a reminder that family-based immigration remains a priority under U.S. law. Another positive trend appearing in January 2026 involves USCIS Case Management. USCIS has continued expanding digital processing and internal coordination. While these improvements are not always visible to applicants, they are beginning to show up in case flow. Receipt notices, biometric scheduling, and interview notices are arriving more consistently for many applicants. That consistency reduces anxiety and allows better planning. Employment-based immigration is also showing signs of progress in some employment green card categories. USCIS is processing cases more efficiently when documentation is complete and visa numbers are available. Workers who have been stuck in temporary status for years are finally seeing approvals or meaningful movement forward. Visa processing abroad is another area where there is cautiously good news. U.S. embassies and consulates are gradually improving interview scheduling in several regions. While backlogs still exist, January 2026 is seeing more interview slots open for family-based immigrant visas compared to previous months. For families waiting outside the United States, this is one of the most hopeful developments because interviews are often the final step before reunification. The National Visa Center is also playing a role in this improvement. Document review timelines, while still careful, are becoming more predictable. Cases that are fully documented are moving toward interview scheduling more steadily than before. For many families, knowing that the process is moving, even slowly, is a huge relief. Another area of positive movement is work authorization and related benefits. Some applicants waiting for employment authorization documents are seeing approvals come through more smoothly when applications are filed correctly and on time. While not every case is fast, the trend suggests USCIS is prioritizing work authorization to prevent unnecessary employment disruptions for immigrants who are already legally present. These improvements matter not just on paper, but in real life. Work authorization allows families to stay financially stable, maintain housing, and continue building their lives while immigration cases are pending. It's also important to talk about what this good news does not mean. It does not mean that all backlogs are gone. It does not mean every case will be fast, and it does not mean there are no challenges ahead. Immigration remains complex, and 2026 still includes enforcement, scrutiny, and careful review. But what January 2026 shows is balance. The system is enforcing rules, but it is also functioning. It is reviewing cases carefully, but it is also approving legitimate applications. It is not frozen, and it is not collapsing. For immigrants who have lived through years of uncertainty, that balance itself is good news. For families, this means planning with cautious optimism, staying organized, responding quickly to USCIS requests, and keeping documents current are still essential. But there is renewed reason to believe that effort is paying off. For workers, it means continued opportunity. Employment-based immigration remains a pathway for those who qualify, and steady processing helps businesses and families alike. For students and visa holders, it means that lawful pathways remain open. Visas are still being issued, extensions are still being granted, and legal status continues to be recognized. Another positive sign in January 2026 is transparency. While not perfect, USCIS and related agencies are providing clearer guidance and more consistent communication than during some of the most chaotic periods in recent years. That clarity helps reduce rumors and panic. It's also worth noting that immigration systems move in cycles. After periods of extreme disruption, stabilization often follows. January 2026 appears to be part of that stabilization phase, not dramatic reform, but practical improvement. For many immigrants, this week's news is a reminder of something important. Progress in immigration is often quiet. It doesn't always come with headlines. It shows up in approvals, interview notices, and emails that finally arrive after months of waiting. And those moments matter. As we move further into 2026, we will continue tracking whether these positive trends expand, slow down, or shift. Immigration is never static, but informed optimism is better than fear. If you are waiting on a green card, a visa, or an immigration decision, January 2026 offers something meaningful. Not guarantees, but signs that the system is moving and that patience is still rewarded. As this week comes to a close, it's important to pause on what this moment really represents. For many immigrants, progress doesn't arrive as a single announcement or a headline. It arrives quietly through an approval notice that finally shows up, an interview email that had been delayed for months, or a work permit that allows life to keep moving forward. January 2026 is showing more of those quiet moments than we've seen in some time. That doesn't mean the system is perfect. Delays still exist. Some families are still waiting longer than they hoped, and immigration remains a process that tests patience in ways few others do. But what we're seeing right now is balance. Enforcement and review are still there, but so is forward movement. And you know that balance really matters. For families separated across borders, even small improvements can mean the difference between another year of waiting and finally being together. For workers and students, steady processing can mean stability, the ability to plan, to work, and to build a future without constant uncertainty. And for long-time applicants who have felt stuck, movement itself is a form of relief. If there is one takeaway from these January 2026 updates, it's this. Staying informed and prepared still matters, but so does perspective. Immigration progress is rarely loud. It shows up step by step. And right now, those steps are moving in the right direction for many people. We'll continue watching closely, sharing what's changing, and explaining what it really means. Not just the headlines, but the reality behind them, so you can make decisions with clarity, not fear. That's all we have for this bulletin. The U.S. Immigration Hub channel provides all necessary visa information and procedures for your U.S. immigration journey. It is important to understand the United States immigration processing steps, visa application requirements, processing times, forms, fees, and more. We will continue to provide all information about U.S. visitor visas such as B1 and B2, work visas such as L1A, L1B, and H1B, student visas, green cards, immigrant visas, EB1, EB2, EB3, EB4, and EB5, and family immigrant visas. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the U.S. Immigration Hub